Brother Gerald Crabb will be here next month. That's when we have our crawfish and all that. And he tells a story of a little Indian lady that was down here at the altar. And there was another man that was in service with them on the very back row. And he slipped in, and he's known as the town. Let's just say the guy on Andy Griffith that had his own cell, he could just go in anytime he wanted to. So this man was, let's call him Otis. This man comes into the church, he sits on the back row, and all of a sudden there's a lady gets up and she sings, and I could just imagine somebody like Angela belting out and singing a song, He'll make a way. Okay, no feeling. How many know we can sing with no feeling? And she gets finished singing, the preacher gets up and he gives a good word, and all of a sudden the lady stands up and she begins to speak in an unknown tongue. And the church is like, want to know what's wrong, right? Suddenly, the man on the back row had the interpretation. He jumps up, takes off running to the altar. Gets to the altar, gives his life to Jesus, right? I'm telling you this story happened. Comes up, hits the altar. And the preacher, after the service, went to Otis and said, "Hey, Otis, what made you do that? Was it my preaching?" "No, it wasn't your preaching." Was it the lady that sang and belted out the song?" "No, it wasn't the lady that belted." "Well, then what made you bolt up and run to the altar?" That little Navajo little girl over there stood up and spoke in my language, and I jumped up and I ran, and he said, "Well, what did she say?" She said, "Frank, get up and go to the altar and get saved." That simple. That simple.